26-year-old Momos Narumi is a die-hard yaoi fangirl geek who recently switched jobs in hopes of being able to play off an image of a perfect, beautiful young lady. However, her hopes are crushed when she reunites with her middle school classmate Nafuji Hirotaka, an avid gamer nerd that knows about her secret. Both reconnect over alcohol, and Hirotaka promises he won't tell on Narumi's geek secret, commenting on how love is difficult for people like them because others think they're abnormal and weird. 2 weeks later, Narumi invites Hirotaka out for drinks again, but is unable to finish her work on time, prompting Hirotaka to stay back and help her before they go out. As they drink, Hirotaka asks Narumi out, offering to help her pass her game levels as a benefit. Excited, Narumi accepts. Narumi befriends Koyanagi Hanako, her co-worker, and also a famous nerd who specializes in cosplay. Hirotaka notices Narumi blatantly avoiding him at work because she's unsure how to interact with him now that they are in a relationship. Kabakura Teru, Koyanagi's longtime boyfriend and Hirotaka's good friend, steps in with Koyanagi to help but end up fighting with each other instead. As Narumi attempts to run away, Hirotaka apologizes for frightening her, promising that he is actually romantically interested in her and not just dating another nerd for convenience. After work, the four visit a bookstore and end up departing for their own homes right after to read manga and play games instead of drinking. Work resumes as per normal for the four after the expo. When Narumi goes to Hirotaka's place to play video games with him, she's initially really nervous about being alone with him, but Koyanagi and Kabakura join them soon after. As Hirotaka takes a shower, Koyanagi and Narumi mischievously attempt to search for his hidden porn stash, but Narumi finds a pack of old card games they used to trade and play together back in middle school instead. The two reminisce how the two of them sparked a friendship after they exchanged character pencils with each other, and Hirotaka kisses Narumi. The next day, Kabakura shockingly finds a mysterious porn stash hidden in his desk drawer. Hirotaka and Narumi indulge in their childhood anime together during break at work. When Narumi shows off a picture of Hirotaka cross-dressing to Kabakura and Koyanagi, this inspires Koyanagi to make Kabakura cosplay as well, but this culminates in them arguing. Narumi comments on how despite her and Hirotaka having different interests, they are willing to compromise with each other fairly to work things out. Eventually, Kabakura cosplays for Koyanagi in exchange for a high-quality Udachi Kai figurine. The four coworkers go out drinking together. Narumi asks about how Koyanagi and Kabakura's relationship began back in high school, but this leads to a string of arguments and causes the drunk Koyanagi to break down. She confesses her hidden insecurities about how she isn't Kabakura's real type and worries that he might just be settling for her, because nerds usually find it hard to be in a stable relationship with non-nerds. At that, Kabakura steps in and comforts her. On the way home, Narumi asks the same question to Hirotaka, who reassures her once again that he is properly invested in this relationship. The two decide to head to the arcade first before going home. Narumi bumps into a barista in a cafe whom she seems to be familiar with. Koyanagi and Kabakura mistakenly believe that the barista could be Narumi's ex-boyfriend and debate about whether to call Hirotaka to the cafe. However, when Hirotaka does in fact enter, Kabakura hastily calls him to prevent a scene, causing both him and the barista to respond. It turns out that the barista is Nafuji Noya, Hirotaka's younger brother. Hirotaka reluctantly agrees to Noya staying in his house due to its proximity with the latter's college. As the four coworkers hang out at his place, they realize that Noya is a non-nerd and decide to be careful about talking around him. As this is a rare chance for the brothers to be together, Narumi proposes a team game and groups the brothers together, albeit Hirotaka's unwillingness as Noya's inexperience and lack of player skills often diminish the fun. Noya ends up self-destructing and Hirotaka, used to playing solo, wins on his own, falling asleep on the couch right after. As Noya decides to walk Narumi home, Kabakura, still suspicious of him, informs him that Narumi and Hirotaka are dating, and Koyanagi kisses Kabakura to show that they are another couple themselves. Noya begins to tear up out of happiness because he had been worried his brother would end up alone due to his personality, and Kabakura is touched by Noya's sincerity towards his brother. The next day at work, he advises Hirotaka to take care of him. On a rainy day, Kabakura lends both Narumi and Hirotaka his umbrella after realizing that they both forgot theirs. As he gashes in the rain, he finds and ducks under Koyanagi's umbrella, where she worries about him falling sick as they head to his home to eat dinner together. The next day, Hirotaka notices that Narumi is a little down, although she tries to brush it off to no avail. After a little comforting and pressuring on Hirotaka's end though, Narumi explains that her favorite manga character died recently in a chapter. Hirotaka and Narumi walk home together as the city puts up Christmas decorations. They find Noe giving out coffee samples in a Santa Claus suit outside the cafe, who feels grateful for being able to make those around him smile and be their real Santa Claus. On Christmas Eve, Koyanagi, who had been annoyed because Kabakura was too busy with work to care about romantic things last Christmas, leaves the office first, but Kabakura rushes after her. The two of them end up on a date at a fancy restaurant which Kabakura reserved half a year in advance to make up for last year, and Koyanagi gifts him a limited edition N.I.M. plushie. Meanwhile, Hirotaka and Narumi spend their first Christmas together playing games. The four play an online adventure game together. In there, Narumi, Koyanagi, and Kabakura stumble upon a rare enemy, but are too weak to defeat it. Hirotaka's avatar arrives, but is being controlled by Naoya at the moment as Hirotaka is busy. Thankfully, Hirotaka quickly returns and defeats it easily. Kabakura goes out drinking with his male juniors, including Hirotaka, whilst the women hang out together for dinner. Two male coworkers start discussing about Narumi, unaware that Hirotaka is her boyfriend, and then about Koyanagi, which angers Kabakura, although he tries to hide it. Narumi and Koyanagi, on the other hand, disagree again about their opposite pairing preferences in anime and discuss having their boyfriends pair in a boys' love situation. Later, Naoya tells Hirotaka about how he overheard the girls' conversation and mistakenly believed that they were arguing over whose boyfriend was better. It's a windy workday, and Hirotaka confesses that he's afraid of thunder as it brings back a lot of bad memories of unsaved games when the power went out from lightning. To prevent it from disrupting his productivity, Kabakura allows him to wear his headphones just for today. As Hirotaka goes for a smoke, followed closely by Narumi, he reminisces how she came to visit him once when he was sick and ended up barging into his house and hugging him due to the loud thunder outside. The two return to work as the sky grows lighter with the passing storm. Hirotaka recalls how he pierced his own ears when he was in high school in an effort to seem grown-up after seeing Narumi with a boy with piercings. When he was unable to pull the earring out, it had begun to hurt and he had cried. After some drinks with everyone, Hirotaka thinks back to how Narumi doesn't seem to see him as a boyfriend and worries over how he is so different from a regular boyfriend, especially in his date choices and attitude. When the two walk home together, Hirotaka decides to ask her out on a conventional date next Sunday. Hirotaka and Narumi go on a date at an amusement park, but this date has a special penalty attached in that anyone who says anything nerd-related has to pay 500 yen to the other party each time. While going on a horror ride together, Narumi's fear accidentally causes her to carelessly pair up with Kabakura instead, while Hirotaka goes on with Koyanagi, as the two are also on a date here coincidentally. Koyanagi assures Hirotaka that it is okay to move at their own pace in a relationship after he reveals how he is worried if Narumi really likes to spend time with him. At the end of the day, he thinks back to how Narumi had always dragged him around as children and how she really has grown up and made many memories while he hasn't at all, and still is cooped up in his own little world playing games. The two eventually lift the penalty and immediately feel a lot more relaxed. Narumi then gives him a pair of earrings and asserts her desire to witness the wanting to become more adult-like side of him that she never saw, and the two hug. However, Hirotaka later realizes that one of his ear holes had closed up. Naoya meets a customer at his part-time job, whose silhouette while playing games reminds him of his brother. The following day, he bumps into the same person again at his university cafeteria and introduces himself. He realizes that the person, Sakuraji-ku, was an avid gamer like his brother, but doesn't realize that she is a girl due to her androgynous appearance and voice. Knowing his lack of experience in gaming, Naoya invites Ku to play games with him and reaches out to Narumi and her friends for help to improve his skills by then. While battling to clear an advanced quest, a mysterious player saves them while in a pinch before Hirotaka arrives. Naoya, figuring that it was Ku, thanks her over message. Hirotaka breaks his glasses in the morning, so as a result his myopia hinders him greatly in doing his job. His female coworkers become conscious of his handsome face without his glasses, making Narumi distracted and jealous. To let both of them regain their concentration, Kabakura lets them off for an early lunch break for Hirotaka to get new glasses. Later, Naoya borrows his brother's computer to play multiplayer with Kao. Despite trying time and time again, Naoya continues failing, but Kao doesn't give up on him and is more than patient enough to help him improve gradually. Hirotaka, intrigued by Naoya's sudden addiction to games, logs on as the latter's avatar and helps Kao clear a quest. Naoya, returning to the game after picking up a phone call, apologizes and decides to drop out, but Ku promises to help him and invites him to play together. Koyanagi reminisces the times when her and Kabakura were always fighting for the gym as captains of the female and male volleyball team respectively. Meanwhile, Narumi buys some snacks for Hirotaka on the last day of vacation only to find him passed out on the floor due to not eating and sleeping to play games. She decides to cook some fried rice for him while calling Koyanaji, only to accidentally see Hirotaka naked after he takes a shower. Back at Kabakura's house, him and Koyanaji get into another argument over boys love manga, with Koyanaji confessing that she wants to share her happiness with others, although she knows he is the type to enjoy things himself. This leads to Kabakura compromising and agreeing to skim one, and he surprisingly enjoys it. Ku goes around town trying to find Naoya after noticing that he hasn't logged in a while, and gives him a game strategy guide she made herself. In a post-credits scene, Narumi asks Naoya about his first love, which he bashfully reveals to be his kindergarten teacher. As the four co-workers leave the cafe after their break, Naoya comments how Hirotaka managed to date his first love, although the latter quickly shuts him up with a look.